when last we left, Clint had slapped a crazy man in the face, and a challenge was issued that in 2 weeks there would be consequences for AQUA. There were obviously a little bit, to say bad blood between the two of them. That would be an understatement. Director Elfman let quite a rant loose as he describes the utter and total destruction of the unambiguous animosity, I will say, that he has for AQUA and Merman, and for Clint. He does not like anybody. In the meantime, Clint has vowed that men like Director Elfman can't be in charge of law enforcement in Stella Maris or in Guam, for that matter. As a sort of result or lead out from that session, as I recall, you all wanted October Rust to hack and gather some files on Soft Cell. He has, we'll say, done that. We'll just take we'll have to roll to see how good of a job he did, though. It's a challenge difficulty. Oh, he passes it. Good God. Your man October is a very, very good hacker, and he also has a stunt that gives him an advantage in dealing with system security. He is very good at breaking it. As he probably would explain to at least Icepeak, it's part of the reason why he was even recruited to become a police officer to begin with. They caught him like hacking into something, and they, it was either go to jail or sign up for law enforcement. Not an uncommon ultimatum given to those who are particularly talented at hacking. October Rust chose, obviously, to join law enforcement. He is able to acquire a wealth of information. Let's also just generally see how unnoticeable he is about this, what his stealth is like. Someone is probably going to notice that these files have been tampered with. I would say with a 3, it's difficult for them to track exactly where the connection came from. Russ is very good at covering his tracks, but they are going to see that there's been some tampering. The question is, there are 3, we'll say, particularly important directories of files. One, the one you're very interested in, I would say, is the blackmail material that our friend Elfman here has on politicians and officials in Guam. Your decision as a group is to take that and remove it from his, I guess, clutches, right? Like, you want to kind of scorch the earth so that he doesn't have that anymore, correct?
Do we want to, make it public, or do we want to review it?
Well, that is a question. Do you want to review it, or do you want to, just put it out?
Oh, I guess review it?
Reviewing the materials that you have acquired. It is sort of, as Director Elfman described, very compromising photos of a lot of important officials, people that you all recognize, including higher-ups in the police organization, like commissioners and such, local politicians, representatives, like council members. One person that is missing is your local trenches representative. They are not in there. Rest assured, there is one shining beacon in trench political representation. They are not here. Your very own Bernie, we'll say, but not really. Is the chief in there? Let's see. No, he is not. The chief is clean-ish. There are officers that are in there, just regular old cops, and you would probably even see some that have been harassing you around the workplace. A few of those guys are definitely in there. The compromising photos are all taken at the Nonstop Enforcement Cabaret. Some of them are actually not sexual in any way. It's just other stuff, like just a picture of a man crying while watching a sad movie, or a grown man holding and cuddling a stuffed animal, rocking back and forth. They seem to also be emotional blackmail. There's actually 2 people you recognize in this thing, Sunny and Ozone. Sunny is sitting looking forward, very straight, nervous as women are dancing around him. He seems to be not reacting. And Ozone is passed out, surrounded by empty booze bottles. This isn't exactly super compromising, but it does look like one of them partied too hard and one of them doesn't want to party at all.
He's just there to drive.
Yeah, Sonny looks like he has the designated driver / saving it for marriage posture.
What a dork.
Of course.
Don't really know what to do with these files, honestly, guys.
What are the most important people that are in here?
Probably the prince is the most important one.
And what he doing?
He has several women dancing on his very large extended stomach. He's a very, very large man. He barely fits within his clothes. He looks like he weighs about 500 pounds. He is a large boy. The Prince of Guam is kind of known for like partying and eating in excess, and womanizing. This isn't exactly new for him, so you can't exactly say how compromising this is. This could just be another tabloid day for him. But he is the most important person in there. Second is probably Sonny and Ozone, since technically they're now CEOs of a very large corporation. Third is who's looking at the photos like right now?
I would, but I would assume Mikey is as well.
Okay, third is Mikey and Icepeak are passed out.
Oh no!
And in the photo.
What?
What?
Ooh.
They are no longer in your office. They're just gone, and they're in the photo asleep.
Oh, well.
So who else is in the office? Because you don't even notice it. They're just gone.
Enya's gonna look up and see that they were just there a second ago.
The photo that they were looking at is still on the screen.
She's gonna
Would you like to look at it?
She's gonna go look at it.
Okay, you look at it and you see them asleep in a photo, just passed out, and a man in a sort of long coat standing over them. Very long hood, lot of buckles and belts hanging off of them.
Okay, she's gonna be really confused and start calling out.
Calling out what? You're asleep now.
No. Okay.
Because next thing you see is just pitch black darkness.
Okay. Well.
Who's left?
So I assume she's not there anymore.
She's just gone. Yeah. Were you looking into that direction, Blue, when that happened?
I think she was not looking at first, but eventually she'll look up and notice there's no one around.
Then, well, we'll say you caught a glimpse of this. Give me a gaze roll to see how much you see. A 2. You can fate die it if you want to see exactly what happened. It might help you.
Yeah, I'll do. Can I invoke my new squad roll?
Yeah, investigator. This is an immediate crime scene.
And so, do I roll again?
You can if you want. I would probably just recommend doing a +2 though, because that would put you over the it was the difficulty of 3, so you can just +2 it and pass.
Okay.
With a gaze of 4 as your result, you see the following happen just out of the corner of your eye. Enya was looking into the screen, and then a smoky hand with a glove pushed through the screen, poked her in the eyeballs, and just hooked them and pulled her in skull first. Right into the monitor. She didn't even have time to scream.
So I guess then maybe I wouldn't look at the screen.
Okay. It's just you and Towner right now in the office.
Towner? I think there's something going on with these photos. I wouldn't look at the screen if I were you.
Okay, but then how do I look at it?
I think our friends just like got pulled in.
Towner, give me a gaze roll. You only see a glimpse of this. There is it looks like a mirror on a string, like a small glass slide. It's just blowing around in the air conditioning. It's strange because it looks like somebody hung it up, but it's definitely blowing and turning. Question is, how smart is Towner?
Like when someone ties streamers to like a fan or
yeah,
something?
Kind of. Yeah, like that.
I guess he might notice.
Right now, we'll say, for you, Blue, and you, Towner, there is a primitive instinct that exists within all mermen, Dagonite, Atlantean alike. The ancient call of danger that exists beyond the biological and extends out into the spiritual and the metaphysical. You have, we'll say, the right instincts to know that you are dealing with a stand or a demon. But that mirror that you're looking at it wasn't there before and there's no reason for it to be there, using the most, we'll say, basic biological mind mapping spatial awareness shit that a shark would have, you know, John, that mirror is angled at such a way that it could turn at any moment and show you what's on the screen. It was not a coincidence that that is hanging there. You are under attack. And right now, it's already taken out 3 of your comrades without them even being able to scream. What does a shark do in a situation like this?
That's a very good question. What do sharks do? They just kind of float along and bite stuff.
They do.
Smash the mirror?
Smash the mirror. Okay, you want to smash the mirror. How are you going to... You have to be very careful about approaching and smashing this mirror. How do you want to do it?
Throw a stapler at.
You take a stapler in hand, try to judge distance and angle, and send that flying towards the mirror.
That's about what I expect.
Don't worry, you smash it. But then all the little pieces start falling and turning in midair as you're watching the result of this, and that means there are that many more reflections.
Oh no!
You are now under a great threat that you're going to need to really, 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 like, deal with here. It is a hazard. The mirror and everything involving the reflection that you're dealing with, the screen, are considered now a +4 hazard, which means that they roll and have the qualities of +4 like threat. So for example, if you want to make it, if you don't want to look into the mirror right now, you have to pass a 4 as a challenge. And even doing anything about this hazard also requires you to pass a 4. That includes changing it, moving it, whatever. So you're gonna have to right now roll a +4 on your we'll say gaze, to avoid actually looking into those pieces, like knowing, having awareness and perception to not do that. So give me a gaze roll and try to beat a 4, buddy. You can invoke, and I recommend that you do, because instant KO if you get like caught looking at this. So there's no reason for you not to. I would recommend it. Maybe you're tired. You want to take a nap.
Squad roll?
Hell yeah, you're gonna. Oh, you want to be a breacher, huh?
Yeah, and I imagine Breacher 101 is don't stare directly at the flashbang.
Right. Okay. Good. Your training with Clint has shown you that. Like, he has actually worked with you. You know, very friendly. Okay. Don't. I'm gonna pull the flash. I'm gonna pull this grenade. This flashbang. Don't look into it, buddy. I'm sorry if you do. And he's, you know, wearing very thick goggles as he does this, so he doesn't blind himself. You and Clint have been working together on your breacher etiquette and technique, and that is definitely what saved you here. You managed to know instinctively to look away from danger, avoiding the glimpse just momentarily, just the quickest flash of vision that might have just completely taken you out. You were down to 2 out of 3 fate points, and Blue, you are still stuck in this situation. You don't know what'll happen if you destroy that screen, by the way. There's a chance that it might not release your friends.
Yeah, I was like thinking if I should destroy the computer, but I don't want to risk hurting or like making it harder for them to escape.
There is one nearby resource that may allow you to counteract the visibility of this screen. October Rust's room and his anti-light may have the power to suppress this thing being seen.
I think I have a thing now where I can... Oh yeah, I can,
You can darken
the room.
Darken the room with your ability. It will make it harder for Towner to see, but that's not bad, considering seeing this apparently is a problem. So using your ability to be sort of anti-light, we'll say even your time spent at all near October Rust or that anti-light maybe have taught you properties about yourself. So you can add the scene aspect Dark Room and invoke it once for free. On the stun, it says, while in these conditions, the room becomes dimly lit or entirely dark if already dim, and you can dampen the sound of your own movements. It's a stealth field. How does this look when you, how does it normally look when you blind the room? Like, you just emit a bright flash of light from where?
From my
your whole body?
Yeah.
So when you're doing this anti-light move, does it also look like you're just drawing in light and darkening, like her countenance is becoming darker?
Yeah, I kind of just imagined drawing in the light.
Okay, so Towner, you kind of see this weird effect of like, it looks like the light in the room is softening and drawing in towards Blue and then vanishing as it hits her skin until the room is now dimly lit. as she has like drawn it in. Yes, maybe that is fine. I think that works very well. Just maybe you only see the cigarette light until that gets dark as well. Yeah, that's very dramatic. I like it. So right now you're in a dark room. It is a scene aspect. I will add it. Now that you've darkened the room, you notice that there are additional mirrors that are hanging up around the room. Some of them are angled and not directly at where the screen is, but they are angled to where the mirror that Towner just destroyed, like they would have reflected. So in a way, he saved you from additional attacks. But you're stuck in a room with this screen. Hear a voice. Once you darken the room, you hear a voice kind of like come over the monitor, just emitting from the screen, even though it's not from the speakers, it's coming from like the light. The voice just kind of warms into a chuckle. Cute trick you have there. But Coma Pony doesn't play fair. You won't make it out unless I say, I'm afraid to tell you, it's going to be a very bad day. The screen, after the person's done talking, you notice the monitor begins to rock left to right. And actually, though you don't see it, the viewer would be able to. Our audience, the people inside are shifting left to right in the photo as the screen is rocking back and forth. You can actually hear sliding, like body sliding as it rocks. And glass breaking.
I don't got any ideas. Do you?
Real quick to get to why you guys are thinking of trying to what you're going to do. Just for those who are already trapped inside, which would be Enya, Icepeak, and Mikey. You find yourselves in a pretty much a black room with smoke on the floor. For you, Mikey, I'm going to need you to roll slick against a mental stress because you are trapped in darkness. You feel the chill of darkness and the absence of light, like immediately. It's in your skin, it's your hair, everything. It's not exactly a cold temperature, but it is like it's that same fear that you got from being in October Russ's room. You managed to keep it together though. Like, what is your drive that keeps you from being terrified that you've suddenly been hijacked and taken to a dark place?
So would it look? Does it look like we're in the club, or in, I guess, something that resembles the club, or is it just pitch blackness to us?
It's just pitch blackness.
There would probably be an initial like trigger of like, oh, what happened? But then like knowing that he was in a lit place before and is immediately not means that something happened, but he likely he can get out of it. So it hasn't set in yet because he hasn't found only 4 walls.
As you're there in the darkness, all 3 of you, a figure just lights a match in the darkness, and that light becomes stronger and stronger. Well, you know, Claudia's a busy mom, so she's got her time that she needs to devote to this and that. So we'll say you just come in as Claudia. You enter the scene and see a dark room with mirrors hanging up everywhere, and it looks like Blue and Towner are currently freaking out about a computer screen that they are refusing to look at.
Just the Wednesday in the office.
Yeah, she's just walking in with a cup of coffee, like, okay, kids are tucked in, and what is happening?
Quick, don't look at it!
Don't look at the screen.
I just imagine that's particularly funny because with like all the lights out and everything, like I'm assuming the screen is producing light, or Blue sucked the light out of the room so severely that is not showing either.
It's just quite dim, I would say.
Okay, I was gonna say because I just imagined like Claudia just walking in and the entire room is pitch black, and you just hear don't look at it,
And she just goes, what?
Claudia, you see a monitor rocking back and forth, kind of on its own, and you can hear what sounds like body sliding around coming from not necessarily the speakers, but the screen itself.
You kind of just, I guess, look around, confused?
Yeah, when you enter and look around, do you say anything?
Hey guys, I just got back from a long day of work. Had to, with my kids, and then, okay.
You hear a voice, and the screen stops shaking. Oh, you must need a quiet rest. Come pull this table near your chest. Look into the screen, and you will see where all your friends keep me company.
I don't think I want to do that.
Can only she hear that?
No, all of you can hear it.
Yeah, I don't think you should do that. Everyone else just got sucked into the screen, but when they looked at these pictures, so I would recommend not doing that.
Yeah, and then she'll probably just close her eyes and go, not gonna look.
Now, don't be afraid. Look at the screen. Sit down in the shade. It's dark in here, but the screen is bright. Come and look at the only light. Your friends won't get out if you don't get in. To look away would be quite the sin. And then the screen starts rocking back and forth again.
She just, listen, I was told one thing, you're telling me something else. I'm gonna go with the one thing first.
I can see why you'd be apprehensive. But my job as Coma Pony is to be on the defensive. I keep information safe for my dear patron Elfman. You won't be getting away alive if you don't give your friends the hand. Go ahead, reach right in, grab hold of them. If you don't, if you walk away, he pauses. You see the screen spark. Damn it. Never mind. Don't pay attention to that. Just look at the screen or put on a hat. There.
I don't know if I want to. I mean, you're not really convincing me here. No offense. I love my friends, but this is also putting me in danger, so I can't help my friends if I'm in danger. See the fundamental problem with that?
Oh, are you afraid of what might happen? Don't be alarmed. Just go ahead and look in. Enough of this. I've had my fun. Now it's time to add another one. You hear a fan start to go inside of the room. There's a fan overhead, and there are mirrors tied to each of the blades. Claudia, you're gonna have to beat a 4 because as it's spinning, you notice that they are at one point in the rotation perfectly aligned to bounce the image of the screen at you. Roll me a gaze roll. This is mostly a gaze-based battle. Use gaze a lot. It's the perception of this game. Or you do manage to beat it, so you manage to look away at the last second. Or you can even, we'll say, if you want, use one of your expertly thrown blades to cut them down or whatever, or stop the blade. You can use it to cause it to stick, between the blades and stop it from moving. How do you see yourself, avoiding this threat?
Try to shatter the mirrors with her, her shell would just manifest, and then spikes would just fly out all across the room and, kind of try to pierce the mirrors so that kind of just shatter, really.
Yeah, that's fine. You do. You hear, though, creaking outside of the office. You can see someone in the distance coming down the hallway, almost like a zombie. They're pushing a projector on a cart, and they're slowly pushing their way towards the office. It looks like they are passed out, like their head is just leaned back, and they're asleep, and they're just kind of zombie shoving this projector towards your office. It's not plugged in yet. It's not activated. Yes, they're basically sleepwalking. This person is definitely on their way, though. The voice on the monitor kind of chimes in. Oh, look over there. Help is on the way. Maybe the rest of you will have to come and play. And then it starts shaking very violently, and you can hear thrashing inside of the screen, like a body's just being slapped against walls and glass breaking everywhere, crunching.
I feel like she'd think that was a bad thing to aim a projectile at it, just try to break that.
I'll give you the opportunity to do that. First, Towner, you see that Claudia's come in, used the throwing knife to like knock down those mirrors, and is currently aiming at the guy that's bringing the cart in. What do you want to do in this instance, right? Sharks have the ability to sense electricity, don't they? Isn't that a thing? They have like an organ for it.
Yeah, they have an organ at the tips of their noses that sense like a bioelectric feed.
Right. So you, Towner, have like an ability that lets you kind of fight in blindness. Maybe do you feel like that's something you'd use often, like before all this, or? It has to be, right? It's like a natural instinct thing. It's part of who you are as a shark.
It probably doesn't come up much, but yeah, probably.
You'd be surprised, actually. There's a lot of opponents that... The most recent example, I guess, was Blind Melon used visual disorientation to fight. So in cases like that, in aquatic combat, hunting and such, you have to deal with a lot of camouflage and optical illusion. So it probably has, actually. If you've been fighting other mermen, especially, it probably has been a very useful thing to have, I would say. So in that case, using your vision against you is something you've had to, we'll say, contend with. And right now, that is exactly the nature of the attack. So you at least have that ability. You can, for the duration here, unless someone forces you to look, not be under threat of looking into that monitor.
So can I, like, blindly fumble over to the monitor and, I don't know, pick it up? Cover it?
Sure, you can try. Though I would say, I will give you the benefit of saying it's not fumbling. You can sense the electricity coming off of this thing, and the electricity of everything else in the room. You can use it to kind of like echolocate where you're going. Yeah, you could. Do you want to try to put your hand in? I guess that's an option.
I'd say that he'd probably try and grab it, but he might put his hand in it by mistake.
Okay. You go to grab it, and you accidentally stick a hand in. And when you do, you feel that there is nothing there, no glass or anything. It feels like cold mist on the inside.
Like whole arm in at that point, see if he can grab something.
Okay, you do grab something. It feels kind of squishy.
Okay, let's pull it out if it'll.
Okay, Mikey, you feel something grab you and wrench your body and try to pull you through a small square.
Probably lets out like a yelp as he starts to get sucked through, and since he doesn't have bones, it's not really an issue of the size of the shape that he's being sucked through.
True.
It's the surprise of it.
Icepeak, you are in this black room with Mikey, and you see him just kind of get pulled through a square, just get shlooped. Mikey, did you say anything? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's just like a as he gets pulled, because he probably, I guess if it's dark enough, he probably didn't see any Enya or Icepeak, so if they didn't say anything, he wasn't sure if he was in there by himself.
Mikey, you feel a prompt, and it's one thing. It's a voice that rings in your head, and it says, rhyme. You have, I'm going to count it, 30 seconds to come up with a 2 rhyming line. If you do not rhyme, you are going back in.
Mikey, I guess if Towner pulled him out, he might be like holding Mikey by like the scruff of his like jacket and that, just kind of hanging in the air. And he's like, "Was that you that said that, Towner? I don't want to be a downer." And then he just wait. Yeah, and then he just waits.
You were fully released by the screen. But if you didn't rhyme, you felt that there at the edges of the screen there were something like teeth or blades that were getting ready to close in and shred you. Even your gelatinous body would have taken a lot of damage from this.
I guess now that he now hurt. I guess hurt. Did we all hear the ding, or was that just something he heard?
Just Mikey heard it in his head.
Okay, yeah. With that ding, he would probably continue to be just hung in the air by Towner. He just goes, "I think something with rhyming. Who's rhyming? Why do we have to rhyme? Towner, please tell me this is you holding me and not somebody who's gonna hurt me more."
He shakes him a couple times to make sure it's him. I think so.
Okay, well, we're both each other. Why is it dark in here? Who keeps turning out the lights?
I guess you can finally see Blue is the one that's like drawing in light towards herself.
I think Towner would drop Mikey, and then if he can, stick his arm back in and just like up to the shoulder and fumble around like, "Come here, you fucking."
Okay, we'll say Icepeak is the one who gets grabbed next. Icepeak, you kind of like awaken or come to your senses as a giant hand is grabbing you.
Oh, okay. I also have no bones. Can I try to grab Enya?
Yeah, you can try, but just as with Mikey, when you're being pulled out and you have hold of Enya, you hear in your head, "Rhyme."
What? I do not wish to be eaten, cretin.
You hear ka-ching, and are able to withdraw from the box. Enya, however, is a little bit too big to get pulled through this square. Enya, you can try to shapeshift your body and resort yourself so that you can be like pulled out, like, you know, kind of dislocate your bones. You're a shapeshifter. It's gonna take a little time. You have a harder form than your friends do.
Okay, yeah, she's gonna go as, you know, seahorse-like as she can. But you're right, she's still very bony.
As you're being pulled out, you hear a voice also say, "Rhyme."
I shouldn't have looked at the screen. I need to get back to my team.
Start to fade black, turn black, pitch black, and start getting dragged back in. No matter how hard you pull Icepeak or Towner, she's going straight back in as if she's being gravitationally pulled. You have consequence from that. It is, you are now like mild consequence restrained. That means you have 3 chances to get out of this before it takes you out entirely. Inside of the black room again, you can see a square of light and your friends on the other side. You can't hear them. They're probably pretty panicked seeing you go back in there. It's really rough. And you can, if you were to look down at yourself, you'd notice that it looks like you've been kind of doused in like black paint or something. Like it's up to your, we'll say, like your waist, and on some on your hands. And it's not only is it kind of covering you, it's also pulsating as if it's alive or breathing, almost like the Venom symbiote or something. Like it's just contracting and expanding ever so slightly as it covers you. You can feel that this thing, this black paint or ooze, is actually starting to chew you at a cellular level, making it even difficult for a merman to like fully get this stuff off. You can try, but it's attacking you like down in your pores, your cells. If it gets any higher, it might start to attack your organs.
Can she look out the hole?
You can.
She's gonna be scrambling to like grab at the black.
Yeah, whenever you try to grab at it, it just starts covering your hands. It doesn't come off. It just seems to be spreading, multiplying even. There is a single figure who is seated in the room with you, who's just watching you. It is this figure that you see on the screen, their icon. They're just watching you calmly.
She's gonna look at them and I guess try the rhyming thing again. What will it take to get back? I don't want to be covered in black.
You see a spout of blood kind of start pouring out of this figure's just their hooded face after you finish that. It's all a game that I like to play. I've never known another way. The director gave me a job to do, and that means getting rid of all of you. You took my partner and locked him up. Now it's time to fill the cup with all of your blood, guts, and ash. It's time for Coma Pony to take out the trash. You feel that blackness begin to come alive once he finishes his rhyme. It is currently going to attack you, and it's going to invoke your wound. The fact that you're restrained, it comes alive and starts piercing through the skin, trying to reach your bones through it, trying to reach any organ that it can. Luckily for you, it's not completely covering you, but you have to roll against a 7. Rolling, well, it's pretty good. You can invoke if you want to reduce that damage. Otherwise, you will take 3 physical stress.
Yeah, can I just invoke her abyssal nature?
Sure, this is an attack in the darkness, in the depths, it seems. You are not unfamiliar with this sort of thing. This is like, there have been very strange creatures down furthest into the depths near the hotter layer of the sea, where Afichi swims and floats and festers. And the things that come off of him are scarier than this. You are able to use your molecular control, we'll say, to actively push this stuff out of your body, at least for the moment, meaning you only take 1 physical stress.
Yeah, she's gonna look at the guy and say, why put your lot in with the director? He's just a false protector.
You see him just kind of like almost try to raise an accusatory finger, and then his hand starts to bleed as he holds it up, and then he winces and retracts his hand. I see you've caught on to Coma Pony's weakness.
She quirks an eyebrow at that.
But don't worry, I won't leave much of a mess when I finish you and your friends and protect Soft Cell the right way. Everyone will tell Coma Pony to have a nice day. He starts to bite his fingers.
Look, just let me get out and we can figure this all out. And she makes another attempt at the hole.
When you say out and out twice, you feel that slime stuff increasing up your body. It is now ascending pretty much to your shoulders. At another moderate consequence, you are being consumed. Not only do you have to rhyme, you cannot rhyme the same word with each other, basically. One more wrong move, and either one of us is toast. So do me a favor, little cop, and just give up the ghost. It all comes down to one last attempt, and he is bleeding badly. For every time that you've successfully rhymed, he has taken a consequence. He only has one box left. You only have one box left.
I'm just a merman that wants what's good. And I believe that everyone maybe also could.
You see a huge spray of blood come out from the front of his face as he drops to his knees, and the room begins to shake. He pulls back his hood to reveal that not only is he bleeding very badly, there are tears streaming down his face. It's over. No more need to rhyme. I've been defeated. There isn't very much time. He stops, freezes, and looks at his own hands. I can't stop rhyming, no matter how much I try. So this is how Coma Pony will die. He starts scratching at his own face. Oh, why bother letting it stay behind this skin? Coma Pony only wants in. And then a second hand and third hand reach from behind him and begin to grab at his skull and pull him backwards. You can see what look like robotic fingers sinking into his skull. This is it. I've hit my limit. Coma Pony, you surely win it.
Can
you hear as like he is being drawn backwards into the awaiting jaws of what looks like a metal toothed trap.
Can she grab him?
Yeah, you want to try to pull him out of the stand's grip. You can see now there's just a large, it looks like a head with arms and bright shining eyes and little ticky-tock metronomes on its shoulders, trying to just grab him and pull him into its massive mouth. It is very strong, and you've already seen one man in the grip of a demon before. It's almost impossible to get them out. What are you going to do in this situation? It's a replay. You see in your head that scene of Rory Lowe being consumed by his own stand. Now it's happening again.
She's gonna try to grab for the thing's arms and give him space so that, you know, they're not so tightly on him.
You have 2 fate points left. You can use them, and you might want to.
I'm gonna invoke Perform Connections.
It's a 6. With your invoke, your last fate die. His hand is slipping, but you can sort of keep hold on him. He hasn't gone all the way into this thing's mouth yet. The man just he's reaching out. He's actually trying to grab hold of your arm. Let it be. This is how my partner died too. The thing in the microwave. That was you. Once upon a time, it had a name. But now I will end up exactly the same. This thing is starting to bite into his shoulder and sink its teeth right into his flesh. Right through his coat.
She's gonna yell at him to, you know, words of encouragement. Shit, I'm gonna use my coordinator.
You want to use your coordinator to
compel him, yeah.
As you are connecting with him in this moment, you see that he feels an overwhelming sense of sorrow. This is it for him. It's all he's ever been good for. And he is surrendering himself to death. He's failed in his mission to hold you guys and stop you from getting the information that would be damaging to his master, really, Director Elfman. And he's giving up on life. The demon senses that and is pulling him in. It will consume him, and it will become a thing far worse than a stand user. It will become a malevolent entity, one that will haunt not only your station, but perhaps all of Stella Marie's. You want to compel him right now. How do you compel him?
You can't die here. You can't be the end of both of you. There has to be something. Anything that you still want to... You can't be done here, alright?
You feel, Enya, a strong burning sensation coming from your pocket. The ozone that you took from the shaman Jeff Linne has come alive and begun to pulse with light. It is shaking, and it is hot to the touch, as if it has just come out of the oven and is made of metal.
She takes it out, and is there any sort of draw to use it on the demon?
There is a draw, strange as it is, to eat it.
She just does it without hesitating then?
You eat this blinding white pill, and you see finally what that shaman saw. Bright lights, silver cities, a place with a sky that is the darkest blue, lit with stars and golden discs that kind of float around, halos that drift here and there. You see a place that is wondrous, perhaps more so than Atlantis. A place where physics seem to barely apply. Gravity is more of a notion than a law. And around, centered, the entire configuration is centered around a sort of bright tower made of glass. And as your vision pulls in closer and closer, you see a figure standing with his back to you, overlooking the entire city. He pauses once you are up at his level, turns and looks at you, and says, "Ugh, another one? Wow. When are you guys gonna quit this silly shit?" He pulls what looks like a bright line made out of just pure light out of his coat while staring at you. Maybe I need to send a message.
I don't know who you are. I could use your help, though.
In the blink of an eye, he is just in front of you and has his fingers on your forehead. And you can feel it's as if somebody is taking your brain and just turning it rapidly inside of your head. Like reviewing your entire life in existence, watching a replay of it until finally it stops. Your perception is probably very shaken right now, but he pulls his fingers away. Oh, I think I understand. You're currently engaged in the game. No swords this time. What a shame. He covers his mouth. I didn't mean to rhyme. My bad.
It's not a game to all of us.
Oh, please. He kind of like shakes his hand and actually wipes it off on a small cloth, as if you're dirty. Let's not quibble about this. It is all a game. One that I have put into play to make sure that only the cream rises to the top. You see for yourself what happens when stand users go unchecked. It's really a matter of time. A sort of horrible, inevitable plague. I should know. I used to be one. A long, long time ago. Oh, I should introduce myself. My name is Jeff. How are you? He actually shakes your hand while your head is still spinning.
She just surrenders to this.
Welcome to my own little slice of heaven. He motions to the city around himself. A long time ago, I had to fight very hard to even get this established. But look at it. Perfection, writ large, realized, properly applied. Everything just so well measured, placed, chosen, and most importantly, he points towards a spiral staircase that's going up one of the spires in the distance. If you were to count every single step and measure it, you would see that they actually have a sort of sacred geometry going on. I arranged this entire place in a sort of super feng shui. It is the most perfect location ever to exist. Any more perfection, and the others have warned me that it may just explode. I naturally, he pats himself on the chest, take up approximately 50% of the maximum perfection quota of this entire space. I know that sounds like bragging, and it is, but it's true. I am more perfect than anything you have ever met in your entire life. You are, of course, honored to be here, and who can blame you? I was initially very, very mad that you were here. There's been a lot of those, we'll just call them smackheads, popping up here and there. They're usually ghosts, not quite as solid as you. Oh, what is that? He points to the black stuff that's on you. Oh, right. That's disgusting. Do you want me to get rid of that for you?
So perfection to you is just perfect structure?
Among other things, there also needs to be a hierarchy and law. Now that I've reviewed who you are, I can see you are actually an enforcer of the law. That makes you a friend of mine. You do want to be friends with a god, don't you?
Oh, that explains so. What did you do to my head?
I reviewed all of the visual data that you have at the speed of light. Now, that's actually not true. It wasn't quite the speed of light because I didn't want to vaporize you. Well, not yet. I don't think it'll be necessary, but I'm leaving the door open. You may need to be vaporized at some point. It's not personal, really. It's just business.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna process that, but you said you could remove this?
I can, and will. But I see an opportunity here. One that I would greatly, greatly benefit from. You see, though I am a god, I can't directly interfere with things. The swords, by the way, those are my idea. They've been working out pretty well. We've taken down the stand user population to a very manageable number of people. And the most chaotic elements tend to get their heads cut off very quickly, or they end up in spooky Jason's Valley of Terrors. Oh, he's such a little. Get. Look at me. I'm wearing red sunglasses and hiding in the dark. Ooh, murder, murder, murder. Please. Who's impressed? Who's scared by that?
She just kind of blinks at him, not knowing who that is. So you're trying to get the stand user population down randomly so that you don't have to judge anyone.
Well, it's more to keep them off of my lawn. Eventually, I think they would try to make their way here and seize what we have. The only way to suppress them and make sure that we maintain the already tentative balance is to ensure that their numbers remain controlled and that they are distracted with pointless combat. Of course, one will rise, I'm sure, that is worthy, gentle, kind, very good looking. Single.
Is this like some sort of prophecy that you're gonna send to someone's head and they're a prophet?
At some point. I've already done it a few times. Though it is a little bit weird now balancing everything with a few of our people missing. Speaking of which, I don't suppose you've seen anyone strange walking around down there at any point, have you? He leans in very close and stares at you.
We did have a space moon person?
You had a moon person. Who was it by, if I may ask?
Some officer Rory Lowe.
Oh, he leans back in realization. That explains a thing or two. I see. Of course. Wow.
Hey,
this is what happens when the... Yes?
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't know if I'm ever gonna be high again. I just want to point out, we also have a Sunny Fortuna. Yeah, maybe he's even weirder.
His face twitches. Sunny Fortuna? Having reviewed your memory, I actually do know who you mean. Tell me, how do you feel about assassinations? Do you have any qualms with them, or?
You saw my life, and maybe you can figure that I'm trying to be better.
I did. But I do know that you do need to do what you need to do when you need to do it. If you don't do it, who's going to do that? I don't know. Do you? Face facts. I'll tell you a little bit of a prophecy, since you mentioned it earlier. Sonny Fortuna is probably the closest thing to the Antichrist that anyone will ever meet. He's really bad. Now, I could take direct action against him. I could even plant a bomb in your head that will explode the next time you see him.
You're not a good god, are you?
I'm the perfect god. Didn't I mention that? The perfect god.
Right, structure, yeah.
Of course.
Look, I'll hear you out. I don't really want a bomb in my head.
Good. Nobody really does. I could explain how that would work, but it would just be a bead of solid light that's ultra dense. That doesn't matter. Sonny Fortuna has to die at some point. I don't want him getting anywhere close to this moon. I don't even want his soul to enter the stream of reincarnation. I want him eliminated. I was thinking just now, maybe I could just sneak a window to the sun behind him. After all, I happen to personally know that's a very effective way to kill somebody.
What about if I just tried to, reform his thinking on whatever it is that he's doing wrong?
Jeff covers his mouth, hiding a laugh. Are you kidding? Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, no one's born just destined to do whatever. They make choices.
He raises a finger. If I could, just for a moment, you're standing in heaven, the place where fate is decided, the place where we read the fates of the entire human race, and your race too, technically.
I mean, I guess you are God, right?
Yeah, we are, collectively, of course. He hears bells ringing around himself and starts to look around very startled. Whoop! Oh, shit. Okay. Someone's on their way that I'd rather not be here when you're here. So I'll make you a deal. I'll give you about a year. And you just hear in the background, Jeff! He winces.
Enya's looking around nervously also. Okay, a year. Go on, for what?
You hear kind of record scratches start to pick up as well. He looks increasingly nervous. Okay, a year to put old Sonny, he does air quotes when he says that, on the right track. If that means killing him, you're gonna have to. Because if you don't, and a year has passed, and I have to intervene, or me forbid, he just awakens to his true nature, the Earth is going to be in a little bit of trouble.
Oh, I don't want that. Deal. A year.
Good. And don't do any of that. Hold on. He actually puts his finger into the front of your head and you can feel something burning away. It feels like something's just being boiled inside of your brain and vaporized. Vapor actually starts to pour out of your ears.
She just winces. Okay, yep, alright.
It wasn't a bomb. It was me getting rid of your addiction to this terrible, terrible drug. You should probably do your best to clean this stuff off the street. I don't want to be visited by any more homeless people. They smell bad and they look awful.
I feel very enlightened to the situation. I will do my best to do that, yes.
Oh, one last thing. What should I do with old Coma Pony there? Because right now, I'm looking at him through your eyes, and I could project a laser that just completely vaporizes him, using you as the gun. What do you think?
I'm not in a place to judge anyone. I'd like to help them, but since you're a god that likes structure, what do you think is best for him?
If I were being honest, I think it would be best to let the samurai hunt him down and chop him into pieces, strengthen their blades, perhaps even recover some of the things that we're missing up here. I would like that. It makes sense. It fits the hierarchy. It fits the structure I've envisioned. And I like things that fit the structure that I've envisioned. Funny enough, mermen don't really fit into that structure, but I'm working on it, after all. It's not bad to incorporate unexpected things into your goals, plans, and designs. It's just a little bit of a pain in the ass is all. What I mean to say here is your entire existence is a little bit of an annoyance to me. But I'm willing to tolerate it, and you are very welcome, of course. I won't just wipe all of you out. I could, but I think the others would be very, very upset with me, so I won't for now.
Enya puts both of her hands together and does like a really genuine bow. Thank you. We're a work in progress. I'm sorry.
I'll give you one shot to save this person. I don't know exactly how to get rid of demons or stop them once they've gone on a rampage, but maybe you could be a bit of an experiment for me. Think of anything you can, anything at all, that you would need to save him from his own demon. Imagine it, and it will appear made of hard light in your hands. Use it as a tool, a sacred artifact, and stop the demon from consuming the user. Go for it. I believe in you. Honestly, I do. If I didn't, again, he snaps his finger, vaporized in an instant before you could even blink your eye. But this is a token of my good faith, will, and benevolence. Yes, tell them Jeff is the most benevolent, perfect God you've ever met. But yes, a tool. What will it be?
A full-length mirror.
Fun. I used to know someone who really liked mirrors. I wonder what she's doing these days. Well, good luck. He actually rustles your hair. Gosh, they're so cute. Sometimes they're cute. I wish I had kids. Well, you know, mortal children. You can always have as many gods as you want, but it's just never quite the same as those vulnerable, mortal, aged individuals. You watch them grow up, you watch them die, you can see the light fading from their eyes. All a wonderful cycle. He actually leans close to you and motions towards the sky. The entire cycle of the human life can be encapsulated into series of flashes in the eye itself. They see first the light when they are born and pulled from the womb, and then the light in their new home, the light reflected in their parents' eyes, the light that they see as the sun sets and rises. The beauty of everything captured within the eye. Well, he gives you a small pat on the head. Good luck with your mirror. Maybe we'll talk again sometime. Don't do drugs, though.
I never will again. Yeah, thank you.
Your vision begins to fade out and pull into a tunnel as you start to return to the world. The last thing you hear is what sounds like a bunch of metal discs being toppled over and glass breaking, and Jeff just turning around and screaming, "Hey, knock it off!" And in a distant, "Sorry!" as your vision pulls all the way back into your body. You're holding the most perfect mirror you've ever held in your life in your hand.
She's gonna try to put it between the demon and this guy, like kind of
just forcefully. As soon as you get back in, you just run and shove the thing.
Maybe even in its mouth to help keep it open.
The demon sees itself and slides into the mirror.
She looks surprised.
The stand user, he's just waiting there, like basically with his eyes clenched shut, and then he opens them and pulls his hood back. What happened? What's going on?
What? You don't remember what just happened?
He starts to shake his head. No. He looks back at the mirror, which currently has a demon on the other side of it, kind of just thrashing around.
I guess you could say divine intervention happened. You were about to get eaten by that.
Oh. He looks over at the square that is the exit.
Yeah.
Real world?
Any chance you can make that bigger so we can both get out of here?
He looks down at his hands. Feel like I have any abilities anymore. The square starts to get larger, actually.
Her eyes widen. She looks over at the mirror and wonders if she should just leave it there.
The square is large enough for you to like step out of. You guys can actually all see this on the other side. The screen on that monitor is just getting bigger and bigger until it's about door sized.
She's gonna grab the mirror and grab this guy by the upper shoulder and say, let's just get out of here. This is like, I don't understand what space we're in.
he just comes along, though he's kind of limp, just like getting dragged, almost like he's not ragdolling per se, but he is very injured, bloodied. He was on the verge of death, and actually so were you. But now that you've successfully captured that demon, you don't feel like you're being munched down on anymore by that thing in the mirror. Coma, that's what it's called.
She's gonna step out with both of them.
So the rest of you see Enya step out of this mirror with a man some of you may recognize, like you might have seen him in there or not. He looks very confused, shaken, and bloody. And she is also holding a mirror with a demon thrashing on the other side of it.
Hey guys, I got I don't know where to start. Is everyone okay?
I mean, I think so. We're not missing anybody, right? It's still, I guess roll call.
What even happened here?
I'm present. Mikey, you see the door to Russ' office is slightly open.
Oh, hi Russ. How do we turn the lights on? Blue? Do you?
Oh no! You hear the door slam.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Russ, you can come out. We'll keep the lights off.
No, thank you. I'm fine here. You go ahead. I have files to review.
We promise we'll keep the lights off for a little bit if you want to just come hang out for a little bit. Okay?
Sorry, I can't hear you. The music is very loud.
You don't even have music. You only listen to the theme song to Frasier.
I mean, that's a song.
Come on, Russ. Don't you like this mood lighting? Come join us.
I'm gonna go into the. Excuse me.
And Mikey just walks. He just like leaves and he goes into like one of the meeting rooms, and like you just like he closes the blinds to the meeting room, but you can still see light coming in because he clearly opened like an external window.
You just hear from Russ' office just music blasting as loud as it can get.
Just way too loud Frasier theme song.
Yeah.
And a medic is here, and I will begin like bandaging up any wounded, including the guy.
I'm just gonna set him down on a seat so that he can get looked at.
You just look over at the mirror and say, "That is fascinating."
As you're like seeing this all unfold, you feel a cart bump into you, and the sleepwalking man is still sleepwalking, pushing it towards you.
Can I shake him away?
Yeah, sure. You want to shake him?
Yeah, he just grabs him by the shoulders and shake him like.
He gets shaken and he wakes up. Oh, he looks. The officer. It's one of the younger officers, probably a new recruit. Looks around the room. Where am I?
Our office.
He looks down at the cart and he looks over at the mirror and the bloody man, and then looks back at you, Tanner. You still obviously being a man shark, and then here's the Frasier theme blasting. I'm gonna go. Is that okay? Can I leave?
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Go. Get.
It's probably for the best.
Good. Okay. He just turns around and slowly walks away. Wasn't here.
You're gonna need to file a report later, though.
Damn it. All right. Yeah. He walks away. You can see he will probably have to file a report about this, but he'd rather not. It's all very strange, and he doesn't know what to do about it. Maybe you guys know what to do. You currently have the stand user, very strange circumstance. You seem to have stopped him from getting consumed by a demon, and you will have an opportunity to interrogate him if you'd like. You have this guy in your office. I'm assuming you're going to at least put him in some kind of restraints, right?
I think we would try to identify whether he's a fellow officer, like with soft cell.
No, he doesn't seem to be.
Okay, then yeah, we would restrain him.
Cuff him to a desk.
We have so many cuffs.
Yeah.
He has ID on him, so you can see his name and who he is.
I have bandaged up any wounds and/or bites. What is his name?
Omaralo Pez. He is, it seems, sort of been in and out of prison. He used to work with a partner named Quinn Tet. That guy went missing a while ago. The file says that they were involved in usually like corporate espionage, and he seemed to have some kind of international standing or connection to a few organizations, including the Russian mob. But none of those organizations are currently active in Guam. So if he was here, it's because he was likely hired, him and his partner, who did go missing in Stella Maris. We'll say within the last year or so.
Enya's like really going over that file, like stroking her chin thoughtfully. Hey, everyone, I think we need to talk about what we saw.
I am curious about that. She points at the mirror.
We'll start with Sunny and Ozone being in those pictures. Same goes for the prince. I don't think we can use any of this though. We got it through illegal means. if we do want to build a case, we're gonna have to keep this in our back pocket, I think.
Something to hold as leverage when we need it, but not as actual evidence. Is that what you're saying?
More like keep it in mind that these guys are having fun. I'm not really sure what all that really means right now, but so there's that. Look, I'm glad we're all okay. I'll cut to the chase and say that I think I went to heaven.
Are you alright?
Yeah, what happened to you in there?
Enya, are you drugs?
Okay, yes, I did take Ozone.
You know that's bad for you.
It was a moment of desperation, alright?
That's fair. Just don't get addicted. Okay, we don't want you to get addicted to that stuff. Nasty.
It's now become more of a priority for me to get Ozone off the streets. No, I'm not addicted. I saw one of the human gods, though. He was,
What?
Was it the wolf?
No. Oh. No, his name was Jeff, like my friend. But I guess the real one. Turns out that everyone that takes Ozone, they just end up, meeting him.
I see. So, Sunny and Ozone have probably met them?
I don't know.
I get the feeling he's entangled with the gods.
What gives you that impression?
The man from the moon wants him dead. The dog Polly sniffs out irregularities. Sunny is clearly affected by Ozone. They want the gods dead, I believe, was their exact words.
You got such a good memory, Icepeak. Dr. Icepeak.
I have many mind.
Well, I come back with a bit of a prophecy, I think. And that is, according to this human deity, that Sunny is the antichrist.
To what god?
Yeah, to him, or?
There seem to be many human gods, and I think I'm gonna try to learn more of them, but I don't think he meant it like, specifically a counter to anyone. I think it was more just generally saying that Sunny is not a good person and is very powerful.
Does seem to be able to speed up time?
Yeah, and honestly, I just never really got a good feel off of him, if I'm being really honest.
I don't think any of us really trust Sunny. It just feels like he's the lesser evil so far, but I mean...
He just seems lost.
Yeah, I still think he's lost. I actually made a deal with this Jeff Linne. In a year, well, I have a year. I want to say we have a year to put Sunny Fortuna on the path of good.
How would we do that, though? I know he hasn't done anything overly evil, really, but I'm also always suspicious of how Dorobo Corporation has been handling its renovations, too. So how are we going to go about this is really what I want to know.
I already think that we have a pretty good start with being his friend.
It's always good.
From there, it's just a matter of steering him towards, different perspectives, I'd like to say. I forgot to ask about Ozone, though. That guy seems a lot... I mean, it is the same person, so maybe that's a moot point.
Perhaps it's not so much that they're the same person as they're different personalities.
They are two sides of the same brain.
They possess the same brain, but...
No, but each side of your brain thinks differently than the other.
Yes.
Well, it can't be too hard to maybe appeal to Ozone as well. We already know that he likes to party, as evidenced.
Ozone is maybe a little bit easier to deal with than Sunny. I don't know, I get that impression.
I doubt it.
It just seems easier to convince, is the thing.
Ozone doesn't...
He seems set in his ways, I guess, sometimes.
I got the impression that Ozone doesn't really seem too interested in much of anything.
Which is itself a problem, yeah, that's really bad, but I bet we could coax him out of it every now and again, or try to.
We're gonna have to try. Sunny at least keeps up the appearance of wanting to be somewhat cooperative, so there's that. It also means that, obviously, we're gonna have to work around them not being fully transparent rightfully so, they do have a right to privacy.
I wanted to mention the files that you got are just one. You got the photos, but there are two other things that were like taken from the servers before October had to bail on the hacking operation. One of them, to review them, is Director Elfman's own personnel file. It seems to just be a record of his performance, the companies that he has worked with, his service in the public sector. There are a few notes about times that he's taken off of work for medical leave. One in particular says, tongue injury? ?
What do you guys make of these other files? Doesn't seem like a tongue injury would be... That's oddly specific.
It should be noted that, after about that point, he'd had a few medical problems, but after that point, he doesn't have any anymore, and his career actually skyrockets. It really takes off.
That's odd. I mean, it's good that his mental health improves, but it improves how dramatically would you say it? Over the course of days or weeks or?
It happened over the course of several years.
Okay.
Basically he was a sort of middling tech guy, involved in some medical technical stuff for the government. Some history in that. He was also working on certain things for, we'll say, technology to improve human cellular growth, like regeneration, sort of trying to imitate kind of what you guys do even. But then after that, he leaves that sector and goes into more profitable industries, eventually starting to get into law enforcement and systems technology there, and moving into cybernetics and combat enhancement for various military, paramilitary organizations. Basically, for Black Ops, kind of private military contractors, he starts doing work for them. The companies all have very vague names. Currently, is there blackmail? We'll find out. I would say that within the files to blackmail the soft cell people, they all have personnel files that you can review. I'll say that are included in the same folder as the personnel file for Director Elfman. You can review those. It's possible that there is. The third directory is Notice of Acquisition. Very, very, we'll say, within the past 5 years, there are a lot of different motions that are filed within that directory, a lot of different just documents. But the main point of the document, after the last, if you were to scan through them quickly, which you guys can, there is a very noteworthy passage that would catch your eye. It says in very bold, thick letters, at a certain point within the last 5 years, Soft Cell's Technologies was purchased by the Dorobo Group.
Well,
So they currently own them now?
Yes, they do.
do you think that Dorobo and Director Elfman get along pretty well?
Depends what he does for them, really.
Well, and it might have been under old management.
When
you
was
guys
the picture
remember.
taken? Do we know?
The picture of Sonny and Ozone?
Yeah, is there a date or time stamp on?
Yeah, it's been taken within the last year.
So before we killed the demon running the Dorobo group? Okay.
Yes, before you did. The information is laid out here quite bare. At some point, Director Elfman went into military technology, and at some point, the Dorobo group bought them out. The old chairman, Sudades, had an apocalyptic agenda. These things can't be avoided. These facts are definitely colliding with one another. If someone with the agenda of starting the apocalypse, or just otherwise cleansing life, decided to fund a group like Soft Cell, it has to be for a reason. And the reason seems kind of evident, really. They're making soldiers, super soldiers, transhuman soldiers. In fact, you will see throughout some of the filings that there is actually quite a bit of interest in transhuman technology. That is, technology that can take a human consciousness and put it in a machine. It seems that that is primarily why Dorobo Group purchased Soft Cell Technologies.
This is kind of dark. You know, Jeff Linne said that he wanted to lower the stand population. It makes me wonder what Dorobo's skin in the game is, even with Sonny at the helm.
He is a stand user.
Jeff Linne said he wanted to keep the numbers down because he doesn't want stand users to seize power. Maybe they're actually capable of being that strong.
I was hoping so.
And here we have one that's gathering a bunch of weaponizing on a large scale. We're targets, clearly. She thinks about it for a moment. We are, right?
We were, at least, right?
Clint is. I think it is about destabilization.
Well, you do have a suspect in custody currently who's been working with Soft Cell. Not a member, but we'll say contractor.
Shall we find out how much he remembers?
He's had enough of a break, I think. Sure.
Okay. Where do you guys keep him restrained? In a jail cell? Just in the office?
Probably one of those, like, interrogation rooms that are just a bare room.
Pick 2 people to be your interrogators.
I could go.
And you saved him, so you have to be at least one. You're the one he has a connection to.
Barely.
Okay.
But
And
sure.
Who would you like to bring in with you for this interrogation?
Who's interested?
Oh yeah, volunteers? All of you? None of you?
I always am.
I take Polly with me.
Polly says bow wow. But I guess Icepeak or
Yes.
Claudia? Claudia, you're a talker person. You have charming abilities. You're actually not a bad choice for an interrogator.
Should definitely volunteer, of course.
Give Claudia some action here. Claudia, you and Enya can do the interrogation. Icepeak, Mikey, Blue, we'll assume Towner. You can be on the other side of the mirror watching, and of course there is a speaker system, intercom, so you can communicate with the people inside. But in this room, this plain white room, in a chair, is seated this man with his hood covering his face, looking patched up but still bloody. On the other side of the table, Detective Cornell and Detective Orinoco.
All right.
Let the interrogation begin.
Enya's gonna close the door behind. Hey, how are you feeling?
He doesn't respond.
She's gonna go take the covering off his head. Hey, you awake?
He is. He's just staring right at you.
Pretty hectic day you've had.
He looks around the room. So I'm under arrest, huh?
To start.
Now I'm sort of wishing Coma Pony had eaten me. I'm as good as dead if I talk to you. I don't even need to bother with a lawyer. I'm pretty dead.
You can say that for a guaranteed fact.
I'll be dead before I step out of this room. I guarantee it.
And what makes you say that? Like, why are you so sure you'll be dead before you get out of this?
This station is filled with people who have probably gotten phone messages saying that I need to have an accident. And all of those people own guns and badges. So if they want me dead, I am going to die. There's no doubt about it. This is my line of work. Information security. Shredding. Getting rid of it. Making sure it stays censored when it needs to. Tying up loose ends. So I should know personally. I am most definitely 100% dead.
Then why don't you help us understand the people who are going to kill you a little better before you do pass on?
Leans back in his seat. That's the bit of a coin flip about it. There are 2 ways that they could kill me. One of them is likely to be extremely painful. That would be used in the event that I would talk. The other would be quick, painless, in the event that I don't talk. The odds on one or the other, we'll say roughly 30% chance that I talk, 70% that I don't. That means I have a 30% chance of getting a very painful death and a 70% chance of it being quick and easy. So you are asking me to play the odds on this because they know those numbers. I've just crunched them. It's a bit of professional duty, I would say, to be able to crunch numbers like that as quickly as you can to decide what exactly you should do to make sure people don't talk, because it's not really about what I say, it's about what others would say. If I get a quick death that's painless, but I did talk, that might not be as scary as what they'll do to me if I did. In that case, it doesn't matter if I talk or not. I am getting 100% of painful death. There's no doubt about it. In that case, I guess I can spill the beans. I'm going to die painfully, like my own little trip to hell. Okay, what do you need to know?
Enya's eyes widened a touch, because he basically did a bit of a loop there. Director Elfman, what are his ties with Dorobo?
That I am not too aware of other than what is in the information. My stand activated when someone saw a picture that was among the files, meaning you've acquired some very forbidden knowledge. I've seen it, of course. Couldn't say that I did before because I'd probably be dead, but I have.
Did it seem like there was anyone in particular that Director Elfman wanted to back? A politician, maybe?
He had a dartboard and he would throw darts at it. And whoever he hit with a dart, he decided should rise. One time, he actually got a rat elected as a trash collector in one of the boroughs. Can you believe that? A rat. Because the dart hit the rat, you know.
Wow, he really sticks to his own rules.
When I saw Director Elfman, I saw pure, utter chaos. He only chooses things based on a whim or fury. He only hired us because he wanted people to die. We didn't have too many options that were more lucrative at the time, so I decided to play ball. My partner Quinn did too. But the more time we spent with Director Elfman, the more sick Quinn got. It wasn't like a health thing. His mind just started to crack until a stand ate him. He still worked with me though, believe it or not. He still did. Good man. Good first job. You captured him in that microwave. I guess that's a smart move.
That was him.
Used to be. We got him out, so he's back in our custody. But without me around, I don't know how they'll control him. He'll just be another demon for the samurai to hunt down, I guess.
That seems like a pretty big piece of info right there. Do you feel like you were getting any sick?
It's hard to say when you're inside of a sickness just how sick you are, but I think everyone feels this way a little bit. Kind of steadies himself on the table. Humans, I mean, we can smell it coming, see it in the air, hear it on the wind. Time is coming to a close. Director Elfman understands that, I think. That's why he just laughs and has so much fun, because he's just waiting for the curtain to fall, maybe even speeding it up a little. Dorobo Group seems the same way. He licks his lips. Don't you think the world is a little messed up? Wouldn't it be better if we could just wipe it away, clean, start over? Or maybe not even start at all? Why bother making another mess? Right?
Because in that mess is a lot of people that we care about. A lot of other people that are innocent. Who don't even know it's happening, who don't even know what the next day is bringing. They are condemning to a life of a quick or even lengthy death. All because you don't want what? The pain, the suffering, the fact that people can be awful to each other. I mean, no matter how much you start over, it's always gonna happen. It's always someone's gonna see someone else having something they want. They're gonna try to take it. But that doesn't mean you end existence over this. That doesn't mean you just end people over it. You just have to try to teach them to be better. And if your lessons don't go heated, I mean, that sucks. But that's why the justice system is there, or should be there, to put those people away and try to rehabilitate them as best as possible. I know we're not perfect. Nobody is. But that's why it's worth keeping.
He snickers. Justice? Do you think the meteor that killed the dinosaurs could be brought to trial? Do you think the egg that gets kicked out of the nest gets to talk to a lawyer after it's cracked and spilled everywhere? No, none of that. There is no justice, really. There's no justice at all. But that's the thing. You see, just like a baby animal can be seized and devoured by an innocent animal predator, just like that, it happens, and both parties are totally innocent in the eyes of the law. Humanity, he taps the table, humanity is about to be eaten up by your kind. Points at all of you in the room and then kind of aims his finger at the mirror too. Spawn of Avicii are going to consume humanity one way or another. There's no justice here. The only hope, only way out, as far as I can tell, is they want to put your brain in a computer. They want to make you a machine that doesn't age or get sick. Transhumanism. Leave the flesh behind. Start again. Leave this world to you savages, and we walk free and clear into a new digital age of existence. But we need to speed things up because the rest of humanity, they just don't get it. They're attached to things a little too much, and they're worried about their souls and their ancestors, but none of that is important. What's important is survival of the human mind. We can go to Mars if we want. It's just within reach.
It's quite a lofty thing to happen. Put people's brains in computers? Not be, I'm assuming, flesh and blood anymore?
Machines with machine hearts and machine eyes. Perfect metal constructs. Unbelievable power exists within machines. They have revolutionized humanity, created the very basis of society. They are a pillar of all governments, of all things. All human colonies throughout existence owe their lives to tools and machines, to methods and calendars, agriculture, mathematics, all science. All comes down to the beauty and power of the mechanic. The flesh has always just been a stepping stone to get to that. We will reach nirvana. We will.
Director Elfman seems like a pretty hot commodity in military circles. Has he gotten any good deals with any major military branches?
He did do a lot of work for the Russian military and for the Seven Nation Army remnants that exist. Thus, they also worked with the Valentine clan here and there. There have been contracts in Europe, some in Asia. He's been everywhere. Fingers in everything.
That's a busy man. I think it's fitting that he's maybe about as crazy, if not more crazy, than the other person that seems to be interested in this scheme. Only a mad person would think this is the only solution.
Insanity, the funny thing. It's the same sort of thing that you might say about somebody who planted a bomb inside of their own head and put a trigger on one of their back molars, something they've been pressing ever so slightly with their tongue, thinking about it, circling the trigger, one click.
She suddenly, basically punched into his mouth to, forcefully keep his jaw open.
You see that there is, in fact, a metal tooth in the back.
She's just gonna, ball up her fist and, keep his mouth open.
You're gonna have to do, are you gonna, I'm assuming, grab his tongue?
Yeah, that would make sense, actually, yeah.
Well, he can't talk while your fist is in his mouth, that's for sure.
Claudia, can you Dr. Icepeak?
Of course. And she'll kind of call on Icepeak, or go meet her, whichever is more convenient.
I mean, she's right behind the mirror. Icepeak, you're currently in a situation where a man has a bomb trigger implanted on one of his teeth.
Icepeak darkens the door with two scalpels in her hands.
The man looks very scared and is sweating profusely.
Hello, I have come for extraction.
Yeah, I know bomb disposal isn't exactly your wheelhouse, but she's sweating. Whatever you can do, Doc.
Yeah, I would like very much not to explode.
I will now begin to prep the patient. I feel his mouth is full of eels.
He's trying to scream, but his mouth is full of eels and a fist, so he cannot talk.
I'd like
Only
to
gurgled screams.
secure tongue so that Enya can remove her hand.
Okay, how do you secure the tongue? Do the eels just bite the tongue?
Yeah, well, they are numbing everything inside of the mouth.
Okay, well, he's gonna just start drooling profusely because his mouth is being packed with anesthesia.
Okay.
And eels.
You may now remove your fist.
She does.
This guy's trying to scream, but he can't. Go ahead.
This is the grossest thing I've ever seen Joe.
You may now exit to a further distance while I complete the operation, so your safety is assured.
I'll stay.
Thank you. And Claudia just leaves.
I will now thank you, Enya. We will now begin operation. I would like to try to remove that tooth without setting it off.
First, you have to use sterilize against a passive difficulty of 4 to get because if you don't do this right, there's a chance he's going to get an infection or otherwise start bleeding. He's already lost a lot of blood.
Okay.
So he's already in pretty bad condition. Give me a sterilize roll. Ooh, almost.
Right. Is this considered a puzzle?
Yeah. Shit, I'll just give it to you. Sure. It's just a puzzle.
I get a +1 from my brain.
You do. And it's why you're a brain that you hear a second click as soon as you properly sterilize. That metal tooth wasn't the only one.
Oh.
The tooth is pushed in, but you can tell this type of trigger, it's only going to trigger when it pushes out.
Okay.
So you can use an eel to hold the second metal tooth in, basically. It's on the upper left side of his mouth.
Okay, I do. One eel carefully puts its
This
puts
guy
its
is
face
just
into the...
This guy's just staring like forward with like his eyes are looking into different directions at this point because he's completely sterilized. He's lost it. He's kind of out. You want to remove that first trigger. Give me a multi-surgery roll against a passive difficulty of 3. That one you're going to have to invoke.
Yes, I will invoke that I am an orthodox-eccentric doctor, what with his mouth with his mouth full of eels.
You feel for a second that it's like weird. You might not actually make it, but your level of molecular control and fine dexterity and motor skills have actually improved over the course of the past few weeks. Maybe it's part of your training with Clint, but or you're just molecular control becoming stronger as a mer person. But either way, you have the sensitivity and fine, precise control required to remove the first tooth. It comes cleanly out of the socket. There's a screw bed where it was. It seems to be a false titanium implant. Still using those after a century, I know. But you've removed it.
I put it carefully into an evidence bag and put it on the table. Now to begin the second extraction.
Okay. Give me a multi-surgery roll against a passive difficulty of 6. Because it has already been pushed in, and these are very tight quarters you're working inside of, even though you are using eels. Enya can provide you with a boost.
No, there's a bomb in here. I shouldn't. Oh, Enya can?
Yeah, she's a coordinator. You're a coordinator. This is very precise work. You can give Icepeak proper motivation / assistance, basically.
Yeah, I've been trying to think of like how though.
Crack his mouth open wider.
On her forehead of sweat. Give her complimenting words.
She both wipes sweat and also helps with the mouth opening.
Though creating an advantage, we'll say with that roll in this like tense situation, you do hear the jaw crack a little.
Gentle, please.
Okay, now she's sweating. Yeah, sorry.
You have strong hands.
You want to re-roll that?
I think with boost... No, I can't. Yeah, I guess I have to re-roll.
Okay, with the boost and your last fate point, you can meet that target. What do you invoke?
Medical officer?
You are that's true, you're a tactical medical officer, and this is the exact type of like action-packed medical work that you might have to do in the field, like removing a person's bomb trigger tooth. You're able to unscrew the last tooth before it can be detonated, before it can make that contact of coming out and basically triggering the explosion. Screws right out just like the first one.
I carefully keep it closed, maybe like to keep it from going off, and put it in an evidence bag and put it on the table.
Do you withdraw from his mouth?
I
pull your eels out, I should say.
I clean up the wounds. I patch it up with stitches, and I remove the eels.
Enya, you hear beep, 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 beep coming from the back of his head.
I think we should go. I don't think this is... It's probably not the only bomb.
Icepeak.
Yes.
Those teeth were the trigger. This thing is the bomb.
Okay.
And without the trigger present, screwed into place, the bomb has begun to do a countdown.
Oh no!
It doesn't have a panel on it, but because you're a brain type, I'll tell you straight up, you can tell by the quickening pace of the beeps that this thing has basically a 1-minute limit before it explodes. You can't tell how strong it's going to be. It might take just him out. It could take out the entire building. You can't tell without seeing it.
I'm gonna have to see it.
You have 1 minute, Icepeak. 1 minute. If you fail at this, by the way, and it does take you out, you might survive. Enya, on the other hand, might be in trouble.
Yes, no, she removes several eels from her coat, hands it to Enya, and says, "Please go and perhaps consider removing people from the building."
I'd rather not.
It is necessary to save the people in the building.
Alright. Can I use my stunt, like, to give her another advantage? Like,
you give
before
her
you
an
go?
advantage by starting to clear out the building, and we'll just say it like that. Clearing out the building, giving her good, knowing that people are safe might help her be calm under these circumstances. Although she is usually a very cool and collected operator, but having that level of assurance may help her to operate better. That's precious.
Please do not forget Russ.
Okay. Enya is gonna, like, leave the room, like, giving her a nod.
Well, I won't let you fail on that. You have a need to perform connections. Right now, you can compel yourself to get one fate point back and pass that roll. Your need to make connections, I would say in this case, requires that you remain in the building even though Icepeak told you not to be there. Like, you get, this is a close squad mate, and even like basically the idea, the possible threat of losing a partner in this case is like unthinkable. It would be the second time it's ever happened to you, really. Or maybe you've lost others before in the line of duty, but you can't just leave her behind no matter how much it matters, sir.
Yeah, she's gonna go run around and then come right back as soon as she can.
Okay. Icepeak, this might make your role a little bit more difficult, being aware that Enya's there, but Enya seems to refuse to leave. As for everyone else, I would assume you follow the evacuation order. It's a bomb threat in a police station. Is there anyone that has any trouble at all with that order to evacuate, or?
No.
Mikey, I'm going to personally put you in charge of getting Rust out.
Okay.
Aw.
He really doesn't want to leave his... you have 1 minute to do it. He really doesn't want to leave. He's very scared of the light.
No, no, please, Rust. I mean, I can find you. I mean, I can. Hang on.
And Mikey will go running for like wherever they, I guess, normally keep stock of like their supplies, and he'll pull out like those emergency blankets, like those big, thick wool ones they use in like the end of action movies to cover the hero to let you know he's okay now.
Okay.
And he just grabs like as many as he can bunch up together. Let's go. Just start putting them on. Just start putting them on. It's okay. It's okay.
He starts putting them on. You can hear the rustling, and then finally he steps out as a pile of blankets, a massive pile of blankets. You
Perfect.
can see the occasional tentacles wiggling around.
Yeah, if I see like a tentacle poke out, I'll try and like grab it to like kind of guide him to like be his eyes.
Okay.
And I'll be like, okay, we won't look. I'll make sure we find the darkest place outside while we stand and wait. We don't want to blow up. All right, Rust?
I'm so scared.
It's okay. Nothing's gonna happen to you. In the same way that nothing's gonna happen to me. If I get trapped in the dark, nothing's gonna happen to you.
They all have flashlights. They're all waiting with flashlights.
No, they're not. Hey, no, they're not. I think we're the only people that know that you're here in the office, and that might sound like a bad thing, but it's a good thing.
It's probably so sunny outside.
No, it's
what's the weather like today?
It is in fact sunny outside.
Oh no.
No, don't worry about that. I'm pretty sure I saw it was supposed to be overcast. You know, we're getting close to like typhoon season, so the weather can change in an instant. We could be having storms.
I'm glad these blankets are here so nobody can see me cry.
Oh, buddy.
He'll follow your lead. He's trying his best to move quickly with those blankets all piled on him. There is one person who hasn't been evacuated. You see a small, tiny robot trying to pick up a gun that somebody left on their desk. It's too heavy.
She's gonna grab Lily and bring her out.
Lily stretches their hands out towards the gun as you pull them away, but they weigh nothing. Just hear, no, toy!
Yes, the machine, the perfect form.
Yeah, really, the perfect being. Okay.
That's what I want to put my brain into.
Outside of the police station, everyone is gathered. Clint, the chief.
Freaking roll call.
And uncomfortably, a man with a mask on that's standing there and just coldly examining the station. Icepeak, we'll say you're down to... At this point, once everyone's evacuated and Enya gets back, it happened very quickly, but we'll say 30 seconds to remove this bomb from a man's skull.
Okay, well, I start biting on there to get him numb and start cutting in.
You need extra support for this, and you have a need to feed off the living. I will give you a fate point back, but you will need to drain this man of some of his blood to give you sustenance so that you can focus.
Oh, yeah, she'll do that. She can't. She kind of is already biting him already, so it's hard to resist.
All right, he's down to basically, he's got a 1 and 2 shot. Did anyone grab ice?
I would assume Rust has him.
Russ does have one in his room that he could pull into his.
Sure, he's got the jar in his.
I was about to say, are we about to have to make a run in there before she might accidentally let the bomb off?
No.
A true race against time.
She would have had a couple slither out anyway.
So you have 30 seconds now, we'll say.
Mhm.
Where do you begin?
We'll have to see what kind of bomb it is, so I gotta open up and, like, peel the skin back.
Open up the skin at the base of the skull where the beep is coming from. You see a square plate has been kind of screwed onto the skull, fused with the bone. Can maybe be removed, or at least the outer housing can be, but it's all very slim. You recognize this technology as being military tech commonly used to blast off armor attachments from a vehicle to separate different segments of it. It's powerful enough to actually force a train segment to detach from like one another. And we're not talking little trains either. You've probably actually seen this technology in Russia to some extent. It's just when they need to like blast something off quickly that's detached. This thing easily has the force, I'm saying, to probably at the very least destroy the room that you're in, but do far more damage than that. Especially because it's not detached. There's nothing to absorb or buffer the force like a heavy train car. It's just empty space. And this guy almost definitely is not going to survive that.
Oh.
Heck, you might not.
Alright. She is aware of the danger. She's still. What part of this structure will most likely take this without dying?
I'm gonna say Enya's gonna make a move here.
You don't have any time to move him right now. 30 seconds. Like, you're lucky that everyone got evacuated that quickly. Moving this guy to another section, that's...
No. I just meant, like, if I needed to face him some direction.
Sure. I guess towards the wall.
I turn him
Like the
toward the
outer
wall,
wall.
but continue operating. I just kind of, like, the lower eels of my body just turn him as I continue moving, sort of sliding as I begin to operate. I'm trying to find, like, something to remove to, like, disarm this, but it's probably going to be, like, I have 30 seconds to do it.
Mm-hmm. Every round that you take, every round of actions is going to take you 10 seconds to do.
Okay.
You are now down to, because you've removed and exposed the bomb, you are down to 20 seconds. I will give you another fate point for a complication on this.
Okay.
The complication, you get a fate point back.
Well, she's mostly afraid Enya's gonna get her.
The complication is you realize that this is not just a normal version of the bomb that you're familiar with or that you might have seen. This seems to be one that is packed with a almost thermite style substance. In other words, it would explode and produce a large amount of heat, which is not something that a merman can typically survive. An explosion like that, packed with thermite, could just melt you right down, and it's been done.
Okay. Enya, it will be very painful. You may wish to remove yourself, she says as she looks for, like, a chip or something to remove.
There's a forward front-facing plate that seems to be screwed over. That's the housing of the bomb unit, the very slim, almost credit card-sized bomb. You can remove the front plate, but if you do it in any way that isn't precisely away, directly up and away off of the bomb, you will trigger the bomb. The passive difficulty for this maneuver is going to be a 6 again.
Oh, okay. Oh, but there's 2 more after this.
You will need to roll multi-surgery if you want to remove the outer housing. You do have 2 fate points. And you do have Enya here to help you. Okay. You only need to use 1 fate point.
Okay, yes, I will invoke a tactical medical officer as I remove this and call him a fool.
He is no longer breathing.
Oh, he's dead?
His mouth is full of blood. Enya, roll gaze for me. Since since Icepeak is at the front and you're at the back. Yeah, you can see this. A small, red, fleshy thing like a worm just escapes immediately out of your vision, hiding behind something else in the room.
Time to go look at what that is.
Do you want to try to look? You can't really, there's a trail of blood. You'll have to track it, but it's moving very quickly.
Yeah, she'll track it. She'll run after it.
Okay. You see on the ceiling his tongue.
Wow. She'll jump up and try to grab it. I just realized this might be Director Elfman's tongue.
The tongue actually pierces, it sharpens, points, and tries to pierce down through you as you jump towards it. It's aiming for your mouth. Give me a suppress roll. Ooh, very good. So you managed. How do you keep this thing from entering your mouth? Because it's trying to dart right in.
Well, I imagine she basically just reflexively angles her head, you know, just like kind of.
Oh, it snakes in midair. Don't worry, it's gonna get in that fucking mouth. I think you'd have to grab it to keep it from just trying to force its way into your mouth.
All right. Well, she'll figure that out when it pursues her like that. So yeah, she's gonna grab it.
Okay. It attacks you with enough force, even though you're in your monster form. It has enough momentum, power to actually push you against the wall. You have to basically restrain it because it's like a bullet or something. It's just got enough power to it that and the end of it is sharp pointed and actually doing drilling motions. You can tell by how it's shredding some of the hand armor, some of your scales, that it's powerful enough to just pierce right through your bony plating. That's for goddamn sure.
I guess she's just gonna be struggling with keeping this thing from drilling her.
Icepeak, that is what you're currently dealing with, trying to do bomb disposal, and you just hear Enya basically get thrown around, and then there's just a dart trying to pierce her face, basically. A very red, bloody dart.
I don't have time to concentrate on that right now. There's a bomb about to go off, and if it does, this entire building will blow, including Enya.
Okay, give me the roll. Actually, no, you already passed the...
I did? Okay, good.
Oh, wait, no, you didn't.
That was sad.
Yeah, no, you're gonna want to re-roll that.
Yeah, oh. I only have one fate point left. I don't think you're gonna make...
Enya's fucking dead, dude.
You only have one shot.
No.
A 2. As you pull the plate away, your hand slips just a little bit.
Oh.
Enough so that the plate, if you move it even an inch more, is going to trigger. You have technically the bomb unit open, but even the slightest mistake here will cost you everything. And you have 10 seconds. Enya is currently fighting for her life as a tongue is trying to pierce her face. And you have 10 seconds to solve a precariously balanced bomb. One that could explode and maybe kill everyone in the room, including your partner. The next roll, because of the way this thing is tilted, because of how sweaty you likely have to be holding this thing perfectly still.
Yeah.
Enya, you can create an advantage, a boost for Icepeak here, but you are currently also fighting against this tongue that is trying to pierce your face. You have to make a call here. You can either continue to hold the tongue and stop it from likely piercing your face and then into your mouth and doing immense amounts of damage, I'm sure. You can either focus on holding that tongue, or you can focus on helping Icepeak at this extremely crucial moment.
How could she even help Icepeak, though, is the thing.
Stuff that tongue in that bomb, I don't know.
Enya's just gonna try to shove her head into the ground.
You want to shove your head into the...
If you look at her form, it's got this sort of pick kind of fang to it.
You shove your head into the ground and do what?
Try to use her tail to wrap around it.
You're wrapping your tail around this tongue dart that's about to fly into your mouth. It could at any moment pierce through your skull, probably exit out the other side. It has enough force to just penetrate right through bone, even your armored hide. You have 1 moment, split second, to provide Icepeak with some valuable boost here. If you can figure out a way to deal with the tongue and the bomb and somehow boost Icepeak's ability to do this, you will succeed in killing 2 birds with 1 stone, or 2 birds with 1 tongue.
Can I give my suggestion? It's a piercing round, right? Can she just redirect it to pierce right through this guy? To the bomb?
Piercing the bomb might detonate it. I will allow the maneuver, but it will be a coin flip to see if it detonates or not.
Just tongue the bomb. Do it.
You're gonna tongue the bomb? You're gonna try to redirect. You have your tail grip now, so it's easier for you to redirect this thing. Just kind of throw/shove it through the front of this guy's mouth, out the back of his head. It's a very precise maneuver that needs to be carried out with Icepeak's coordination, because she's the one who sees exactly where it is, the bomb on the back of his head. So she's going to have to focus on pointing where it is. You cannot boost the coin flip.
Just thought I'd ask. I don't know what the fate-specific rules are for boosting a two-sided dice effectively.
Oh god. Alright, well, I guess that's the move.
You redirect this tongue, send it through this guy's mouth back home where it came from, and then Icepeak, you coordinating this, see first you hear zzz, and then you see the tongue starting to emerge through the back of the skull and the bomb. This is down to a coin flip. Fate, as Jeff Lynne described it. On a 1, it does not detonate, and on a 2, it does. So cross all your fingers and toes.
All my lamprey. You know, we can actually cross our fingers and toes. Horrible merman.
I have it loaded up. Roll 1d2. Whoa! It doesn't fucking explode! Wow! Wow. I cannot fucking believe it. God. Good fucking God. The bomb stops beeping.
What about the tongue?
The tongue, it gets like wrapped up with the electronics, and the bomb starts getting, you hear a spark, a sizzle, and it starts to run out of momentum, stops spinning, and turns into a regular tongue. Just lying out the back of his head. Torn up, but still a tongue. Oh yeah, he's definitely dead.
Yeah, super dead. He died the moment the thing left. So I attempt triage, though. Probably pronounce time of death.
Enya looks really shaken.
Yeah, didn't you see the dart re-entered his mouth? So it shot out through the back of his head.
Yeah.
And we're just like, oh no. The patient.
Icepeak does seem saddened, but turns toward Enya and says, I am proud of your resourcefulness.
I thought I was gonna see heaven again pretty quickly, but I'll go tell the others.
And you hear sounds like a crack or something breaking.
Oh, what direction is it coming from?
Hard to say. Seems to be from one of the walls. There's a second one, and then a third one.
She's gonna be peeking into rooms?
There's dust on the ground.
Just like a pile?
Yeah, looks like demolition or something. And then the wall next to the guy just cracks and a person walks through it.
What?
That person is Officer Gory Newman. He just walks right through the wall. Officer in distress. I got the call. Bomb, huh? Weird. Is that the bomb right there? He points at the bomb unit that's been pierced by the tongue.
Yeah, you have it.
No, funny thing about my armor plating. It's actually made to resist this sort of thing fairly well. You want to see?
I would prefer not to. And could you not destroy our walls?
No. I don't think the wall's really what you need to worry about. I'm familiar with this particular make. The detonator has been disabled. The payload's still quite active. Watch. He just quickly reaches down with a hand and grabs it, just clenches it in his hand.
Oh, my evidence!
Evidence of what? He tilts his head, and then you can tell what he's about to do.
I already know.
Enya and Icepeak, you have one moment, one exact moment, to decide, do you want to try to keep him from crushing and detonating this bomb, or do you want to get the fuck out of this?
Gonna grab Icepeak and run for it.
Icepeak does look like she's reaching out toward the bomb before Enya grabs her around the waist and runs for it.
Then Icepeak, the last thing you see as your friend is fleeing the room is Gory Newman winking and then crushing the bomb with his hand. Being consumed in a massive fireball, his black silhouette is still there, posing. You can see his suit starting to burn away. Probably whatever remnants of his synthetic skin are being just completely just bathed in fire, turned to ash. But the fireball is not stopping. It consumes him too. I mean, it blinds you from him. It's still going. And you're going to need to make a, we'll say, breakthrough roll to break through walls just like he did and try to get away, because a straight line's not really possible here. A hallway, the force is going to like spill out and get at you. You can sort of break down one of the walls to try and get away from the explosion, but it's not enough to like get you free and clear of it. You each take 9 points of stress, physical stress. The explosion, the fire, the fury of it, it's not point blank, but as you're escaping, that's what you take. As you escape from the explosion, well, you don't really escape. You get like thrown through another wall and then 2 more. from the fucking just force of the explosion. It takes out a huge chunk of the station around it. The explosion rocks the entire station. Everyone outside collectively gasps as the bomb goes off. Some of them didn't even think it was a real bomb. They thought it was like a prank call or something. Jackie Stauber will say drops her sandwich, her bag sandwich. Riley passes out entirely. It's just too much stress. As the bomb explodes and sends like wind rushing over everyone there, Harlan just stares forward, unfazed, as glass bounces off of his fucking mask. The chief just takes a flask out of his pocket and starts unscrewing the top of it. Clint is just freaking out, checking to make sure everyone's okay. Polly is gently waving in the wind like a flag, kind of draped over a branch. It's pretty peaceful.
I will say Mikey probably stretched his arms out to fully encompass Russ and his blanket.
Oh yeah, if you weren't
suit.
there, boy, those blankets might have blown off.
So yeah, he's currently in this way too tight embrace, holding the blankets and Russ together.
You just hear Russ crying. It's very scary.
Yeah, it's probably that like after explosion scene where everything's just a high pitch ringing, but Mikey's still just trying to calm him down and just tell him that like it's okay. To like no avail.
Never leave.
I don't think you have a room anymore. We'll figure it out, I promise.
And he's just way too loud.
Yeah, and the chief's like, what?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it even says is a drawback of my bloodline is I'm susceptible to blind and like deafness.
No.
So yeah, he's having a real bad time.
Oh man, yeah, that's rough shit. Well, it'll pass, but yeah, for now, that was a very loud explosion. Everyone outside, relatively safe. Inside, in the wreckage of the office, the wreckage of the station, the AQUA unit squad room has been annihilated. And you know what? For good measure, we'll say Icepeak's morgue also busted up really, really bad.
Okay, well, Icepeak is homeless now.
I was gonna say, I literally posted in the chat, "Yay, we stopped the bomb."
I think once the dust is settled, so to speak. First of all, obviously fire crews are going to start arriving very soon. There's personnel everywhere. People in the police force are freaking out. There's a man sort of off to the side who is just taking pictures of everything with his phone and writing notes down very quickly. You've never seen this guy before, but maybe you have. He shows up occasionally and just seems to really like taking pictures of stuff. Been around the city for a while. He is wearing glasses. He is kind of just like, seems like cataloging what's happening just as soon as it happened. He was here very quickly, weirdly enough. Beat all the other like reporters and media types.
Well, Enya and I have to like shake ourselves out of the rubble. Icepeak has to find all of her eel pieces. They're around.
Yeah, there's a lot of scattered chunked eel, freshly barbecued. Sorry, buddy. No one's eating it this time.
That's what you say, but the birds are circling.
There's always eagles.
Delicious cooked soft tissue.
These eagles are terrifying.
Yeah. What does this person look like that's taking pictures?
They do look like a reporter or some kind of tabloid person, at least. This individual, whoever they are, doesn't seem to be trying to cause trouble or anything. They're actually staying out of the way and pretty much under the radar. Okay, so Mikey's looking for any of the evidence and computer stuff. Rust is... he's pretty savvy when it comes to like dealing with making back, especially something this sensitive. He'd have that information backed up to at least like a server somewhere. There's no way he would just like allow that to, in a police station suspected of corruption, allow that to just be the only copy. So you have that secure.
Maybe there's something worth it on there, like a very specific VHS restoration of Frasier.
He doesn't watch the show.
Oh, you're right.
But speaking of which, you hear a very warped speaker playing a very broken version of tossed salad and scrambled eggs, like just slow, distorted. It didn't survive. You also, as you're searching through the wreckage, any of you, you see a man walking a small, fuzzy black dog. Just walking it right through the wreckage, looking around and just going, that man is very familiar. It is Director Elfman.
What?
He's just walking his dog, and then he finally sees the remnants of AQUA's office and says, "She is fine. Go on, Poopsie. Do your business. And he gives the dog a small kick with his foot. Dog yelps and then starts shaking and peeing where it stands. Yes. Put out the ashes and cinder, Poopsie. By the way, Poopsie's not even your real name. It's your slave name. You're a small slave. And he just starts nodding. He's just kind of like knelt over, nodding furiously at the dog. The dog is getting increasingly scared and peeing harder. So that's kind of who you have there at the scene. Director Elfman's just there, kind of walking right through the crime scene, as you mentioned. This reporter is out there. Who knows how long he's been here, actually. Like I said, he did get here weirdly quick.
Enya's gonna walk up to Elfman and say, "That's pretty bold of you to return to, well, what's obviously your handiwork. And being petty on top of that. Do you feel good right now?"
I feel happy. He leans forward. Happy.
I just don't get it. Soft cell's yours. Why would you want to blow up the whole building?
I didn't blow up anything. It was the madman with the bomb in his head. Obviously, it was him. It wasn't me. You don't have any evidence that it was me. It's really weird that you would speak lies in my presence.
Lies. Yeah.
I just happened to notice, weirdly, that there were some people pitter-pattering, tiptoeing through my beautiful, glorious servers, looking for something probably to pin on me. You were probably looking for evidence. Don't worry. I eat the witnesses, metaphorically speaking. I know where the bodies are buried. I dig them up. I check their flavor. And give them a little nibble.
Well, I think it's pretty clear that there's not just one madman involved in whatever this incident was.
You're right. You know who did it? He lifts the dog slowly. It was Poopsie. Poopsie, why did you orchestrate this? What was your motivation? How will you answer for your crimes? Just slowly starts dragging the dog closer to himself, and his teeth are just gnashing the whole time, clicking against one another. The dog is trying to recoil in absolute terror.
You don't really care about that dog, do you? I'll take it off your hands.
He turns the dog towards you. This dog? This dog right here? My Poopsie Whoopsie?
It's under arrest. You said it yourself. It's a suspect.
Oh, well, in that case, please process this criminal hound, officer. He just gives you the dog.
She does take it.
Yes, Poopsie, you're going away for a long time now. You'll pay for the crimes. You did them all, Poopsie. You were coordinating it. Racketeering. Mafia Don shit. Poopsie Whoopsie is a criminal. He just starts foaming at the mouth and walking away. You hear a woman in the background screaming, "Where's my dog?"
Alright, well that's a pretty obvious connection there. Enya's gonna go deal with that.
Also in the wreckage, you see a blackened shell of a human being adjust the scrap remnants of a tie and just start walking off into the same direction as Elfman. He looks back, focusing in on AQUA, and just kind of gives out like a shrug expression, like holding up his hands, shrugging his shoulders. And then you just hear him in a very robotic tone say, "Oops, my bad. Sorry, Charlie." Shrugs and just starts walking away.
There's a good chance that was Gory Newman, right?
That was definitely Gory
100%,
Newman.
yeah.
100%. He looks like a fucking, he just looks like he's constructed out of complete black metal. Underneath the skin, he's just this smooth robotic form.
Guys just have no care for property.
Seems not.
Or life.
Icepeak will start cordoning off the explosion area, but there's just like an ash body left, I guess.
Yeah.
And I gotta carefully collect that, I guess.
Mikey will have Towner stand over Rust to act as a makeshift shelter and like just shadow producing entity. Just kind of deliver what he kind of picks up. And I guess since Mikey does have like one of the highest gazes, he would notice this weird photographer who's just there and seemingly has been there the whole time, and will start heading over to him.
Hi. Hello?
Roll slick. Passive difficulty, we'll say 5. It's a little mistimed, and you can definitely invoke if you want to. That you just barely fumble out a high five that he was throwing out to you.
Oh no, I want to make that high five.
All right, what do you invoke to make it?
Chill, bro. Obviously.
Hell yeah. Okay,
Boom.
you invoke.
Hell yeah.
You're a very chill bro. You land the high five. You feel like it was a very dramatic moment that if you had failed, would have been the end of the world. That doesn't really make sense. The guy who gave you the high five looks very impressed. Man, nice moves. Hey, mind giving me a interview or something?
Yeah, you are?
Oh, If I tell you my name, you might be connected to shady underground figures. They might hunt me down. They might destroy my life's work. You wouldn't sell me out or anything, right?
No, I don't have any context like that. You could also just like give me an alias if you're working with. If you write under a pseudonym, I wouldn't know who you actually are if you use the pseudonym.
I could. Tell you what, just call me Neion.
Okay. Hi. How can I help you today, Neion?
I don't know. How can you help me? Well, I'm writing a really cool story about this explosion that just happened. Did you hear about it? He's like standing right in front of the wreckage station.
Yeah, I just walked out of the wreckage to talk to him, and he's asking me how
Yeah, I was. I'm here. I'm with the AQUA squad department.
Oh, you're one of the AQUA guys, huh? Wow. Do you have any hidden secrets or anything that I can write about? He just starts writing on his cell phone, his Uzi.
I don't think so. I feel like I'm pretty much an open book.
He looks at you for a moment, then he pushes your shoulder with his finger. All right, here we go. AQUA members confirmed. Boneless.
Some of us have bones.
Whole unit boneless. Every single one of them. Not a single bone between them.
Technically, I guess Towner wouldn't have bones. It's more like a rough cartilage because his physiology is based on a shark. But I think actually Enya does. But I think that's more of like again a hard like chitin because she's not. You know what? It's neither here nor there. We have skeletal structures. Sometimes.
Okay.
Most of us.
Here we go. Headline: Boneless buffoons blunder bomb.
That's not. The alliteration is nice, but that's not what happened.
Oh, what would you prefer me to write? Boneless boneheads.
No, I don't. I would prefer you find a B word that isn't like defamatory of us.
Oh, I get it. Because you have a reputation to protect, right?
Well, because we didn't.
Boneless blowhards. There we go. That's gonna sell. Hey, do you want to read a magazine, maybe? He slowly starts reaching into his coat to pull out a magazine. Very colorful cover.
Yeah. Is this who you write for?
Mikey will go to take the copy.
When you open the pages, it feels almost like the images and words are coming alive. The information is extremely saturated on the pages. Figures. They're not exactly moving, but like pictures of people, they just have like a great amount of life and depth to them. Yeah, I write for this magazine, definitely. I am Scorpio Magazine, my man. #1 selling a magazine in Guam. Also, he combs his hair with a switchblade comb. The only magazine in Guam. Nobody prints magazines anymore.
Oh, I've heard of you guys. Yeah.
Okay, he crosses out boneheads. Boneless. Boneless. Boneless buddies. There we are. I changed my mind about you. I don't know why.
Okay, thank you.
Well, just keep that magazine. It updates about once a week.
Oh, wait, the magazine itself, or?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a weekly release. Every week, there's a new story. My sales were great in the beginning, but nobody's buying it anymore. It's weird. I just keep updating and hoping my readership improves, right?
Oh, no, I would say the issue lies in the fact that if they buy one magazine, it updates itself. If you're
You
trying
can
to sell magazines, you would need them to not update. You would have to print new copies every time, which may be more of a cost to you that you may not be able to afford. So updating the individual magazines would make more sense, obviously. But no, if you want to be able to produce a profit from it, you would, right?
You can see him trying to figure
I
out what
studied.
you're saying
I
as
did
you're
a little bit.
talking.
I did a little bit of study on like economics, but not like macroeconomics. I don't know what in terms of like, do you buy your paper in bulk? And he just kind of looks at the magazine again and just looks at him and just goes, "Thank you. I don't. Thank you for this.
You
It
can
means a
see-
lot, Neion."
There's a page that has a blank paragraph under Boneless Buddies. Blunder Bomb still has that part, but you can see the words starting to fill in on the page as he's typing on his phone. Strange, anxious officer. What's your name? He stops, and the writing stops.
If Mikey can, I guess since Mikey can effectively move his eyes, he's looking down at the page and he's looking at Neion, and
And he's just like, Officer Michael De La Cruz. My friends call me Mikey though.
Yeah, he just starts writing down Officer Mikey De La Cruz. And you can see the words going in on the paper. Nervously tried to explain the explosion that took place here today in Stella Maris. He seemed awfully anxious and suspicious. But something tells me that he's an upstanding officer who just needs a little bit of social skill work. Regardless, there was a bomb and it did explode. Can you believe that? Wow. There are bombs everywhere. You'll never be able to stop them all, I'm sure, but we could use a world that has just a few less bombs, especially less bombs in the schools, I think. That's a personal opinion, and it's rather controversial, but that's the type of opinion that you read Scorpio magazine to hear. No bombs in schools, you heard it here first. Officer Mikey De La Cruz seemed hesitant about the bombs in schools program, but I have his word.
Wait, did somebody start a bombs in schools program?
he's reading it as he's.
No, who started that program? Why would you start a program like that?
He starts erasing the words. Officer Mikey De La Cruz seems absolutely in the dark about the bombs in school program.
I haven't been in school in a while. When did we start? Are we giving kids bombs? Is it like one per? What is hang on.
And he goes to find the chief.
Yeah, just quotation marks. Are we giving kids bombs? And then end quotes. And then this guy yells to you, Mike Neion. Says, "Hey, did I spell your name right?"
I guess, is it spelt right?
It is.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
And then you see filled in like give kids bombs, and then quotation ... yes with exclamation point says Officer De La Cruz.
Okay, that's blatantly taken out of context.
I think Scorpio Magazine is the one who decides context here, my friend. I'll be back later, don't worry, at some point. I'm sure that's not the only bomb that's ever going to be detonated in this particular station.
I really hope it is.
Well, there was the incident about over a year ago where someone mysteriously got flown to the middle of the city and then dropped like a bag of potatoes. This place is kind of cursed, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, there's a lot of activity in Stella Marie, so...
There is, and wherever it happens... He takes off his sunglasses dramatically. Wherever there's a story, Scorpio Magazine will be there. And he just, as he's talking, slowly brings the camera up to his face and takes a picture. You can see on the cover of the magazine, it changes to his face, looking very heroic with very good lighting. Yeah, it has automatic filter and everything. By the way, if you happen to see a spunky girl detective anywhere around here, tell her to stop harassing me. Thank you.
Oh, I don't think anybody can control her, but I'll try.
Is he he's still trying to find the chief to ask about the bomb program? Because that can't be a real thing, but he's never heard about it. So maybe it's just something that he's not aware of.
Yeah, as you're leaving to talk to the chief, you do see in the background, you hear someone say, "Hey, Neion! Howdy!" And you see Neion starting to leave quickly as Jody is power walking towards him. So yes, it seems that he may in fact be a JoBro. He's doomed to die.
Oh, that's fun. Get to meet the first of the Joni crew. Nice.
Also, it goes without saying, the chief has no fucking idea what you're talking about with bombs in school.
I imagine.
He seems very confused and wonders if the bomb in the station has maybe affected you in some way.
Yes, you can keep saying that it's shell shock. You can keep dancing around the word. You can just say shell shocked, like it's not a racist term because we're fish people. Not all of us have shells.
It's just very expensive in the budget to have to deal with that.
No, I mean I understand, but I'm just somebody was asking me if this bomb was related to the bombs in the schools, and I had no idea what they were talking about. What bomb? Why are we putting bombs in the schools? Who are we? Are we giving the bomb? Are the bombs planted in the schools?
There's no bomb school program, De La Cruz. What are you talking about?
And he just kind of stands there, just almost frozen in place, and just goes, "I need to probably lie down."
Okay, we're setting up some emergency hammocks over there in the trees. You can go ahead.
Okay, I have to go find some stuff in the wreckage.
Sure thing.
And he just starts going back towards where their office was.
Do we have psychologists for the mermen in this station, I wonder?
Gotta hire one?
A marine psychologist. He just looks kind of like thoughtfully. And then just anything to not look at the wreckage that's occurred. Part of the station has been taken out. He's just turning his back to it, distracting himself with the idea of, yeah, like you could help fish that have been stressed out. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, we need that.
It seems that you still have 1 week to go before the official challenge has been issued. But for now, at least you've survived the bomb. You've managed to disable it. And nobody died, except for, of course, that guy. That guy died. A tongue went through his fucking mouth. And also a bomb, and his tongue detached and a bomb in his head. Congratulations! The last scene is in the wreckage. Lily finds a smoldering gun and just slowly starts reaching for it with her tiny little grabby hands. To be continued.
Lily, no!